Woo! It's Halloween, and things are getting very scary. But don't worry, I'm gonna resuscitate your budget, bring it back from the dead with 3 delicious recipes. We're making party-style buffalo dip, festive stuffed peppers, and a spooky dessert. Even if your costume does not have a cape, you're all gonna be heroes when I'm done with you. Let's get this party started.
Life can be a struggle, but a good meal doesn't have to be. We can make creative, nutritious, and inventive dishes that won't break the bank. We'll eat well and save money, because that's what we do. Welcome to Struggle Meals.
I've got the perfect dish for your Halloween party, cheesy buffalo dip. It's orange, it's spicy, and your guests are gonna love it. So I'm gonna start by cooking off my chicken. I've got chicken breasts here. They can be thighs, it can be rotisserie chicken, it can be already cooked chicken. I'm gonna throw them right here on our sheet tray. So I've got kosher salt and also some pepper. Chicken breast is really lean, so I'm gonna put a piece of butter on top of each breast so that it is sort of auto-basted with delicious flavor. We're gonna cut an onion. And we're gonna julienne this, which means we're gonna get some strips. Beautiful. Now let's get these onions on the chicken. That was easy. Now we're gonna bake it off for 30 minutes until it's tender, and then we'll shred it apart. Now we're gonna make the rest of our filling. This is what's gonna give us the orange color, the spiciness, and all the delicious flavor. We've got some softened cream cheese. We've got some buffalo-style hot sauce. Woo! Ranch dressing, and finally some cheese. The pre-shredded stuff is gonna have all kinds of anti-caking agents in there, which reduces flavor and reduces meltability. Let's mix it together. This is not gonna mix well if the cream cheese isn't room temperature. And I would say that we're good. All right, chicken's looking good. So I'm shredding the chicken rather than chopping it because now it's gonna break along the natural fibers. Got our chicken like basically shredded. Let's mix it in with our cheesy sauce. I'm looking forward to this. So now I'm just mixing this all together. I really wanna eat this right now. All right, now I've got my favorite pan in all the land, and I'm just gonna put this right into it. When you've got a dip, you need something to dip into the dip. So I'm using pizza dough, and I'm gonna make rolls. Here's my dough. It's been sitting out at room temperature. It's pliable, so I can make some shapes. But the best part of this is the rolls and the dip are gonna bake at the same time. Take my dough, try and get 10 rolls out of this. 10, great. I'll take the dough ball, I'll sort of fold the bottom into itself on the counter like this. And there we've got a ball. All right, so we just put our pizza dough balls right on top of our dip. I got 10 dough balls. I'm using a 10-inch skillet. I'm gonna bake this at 450 for 25 or 30 minutes until it's golden brown on the dough balls and bubbly in the dip. I gotta say, this looks really delicious and it smells even better. Why don't we brush the rolls with a little bit of melted butter? Beautiful, fantastic, buttery rolls with the aroma of freshly baked bread intertwining with the spicy buffalo hot sauce and all that cheesy goodness. I think we just need one more visual thing here, and that is chives for some color contrast and that zing to cut through all the richness. Let's head over to the herb garden. All right, we got some chives right here. You know, I paid for this plant just once. It keeps giving me food. Incredible. Easiest way to cut chives is with a pair of scissors. There we have it, cheesy buffalo dip, the perfect crowd pleaser for your Halloween party. This is only $1.20 a serving. I can't wait to dig in. Here's how you'd serve it if you were having a party, right? You'd just set this out, take your hand, grab a roll. I'm dipping. It's hot. It is cheesy. Woo! Do you see the steam coming off that? Mmm. Oh, that is good. Creamy, Salty, doughy, spicy, addictive. This is gonna be a crowd pleaser at your Halloween party. 100%. Candy? No thanks. Cheesy buffalo dip. Sign me up. What could be more appealing than a caramel apple buffet? It's Halloween's answer to the gingerbread house. It's an easy, fun, and delicious activity, and it's a real crowd pleaser. Stick to these core principles and you can't go wrong. Set everything out ahead of time for your guests. Wax paper, skewers, apples, and toppings. Granny Smiths are popular as a tart complement to the sweet caramel. But follow your heart. Any apple will do. Scrub the apples with water and vinegar to get all the wax off, then make sure they're completely dry so the caramel sticks. Skewer the apples. Set out an assortment of toppings, crunchy, salty, and sweet. Crush them up and put them in shallow bowls. Make your caramel in a deep pot. If it's too liquidy, let it cool. If it's too thick, warm it up. Work quickly. Dip your apple in the caramel and then roll them in the toppings. Place them on parchment paper or in muffin tin liners and then let them cool on the counter. And that's it. Now you've got the makings for a delicious caramel apple bar. It's gonna be spooktacular. Boo. Don't get scared, don't move. More Halloween recipes coming up right after this. We're gonna make jack-o'-lantern stuffed peppers. They're festive on the outside, they're hearty and delicious on the inside, and you can customize the filling however you see fit. Plus, if you got some little ones, this is the perfect thing to make them eat before they go trick-or-treating. So we're gonna start by working on our jack-o'-lanterns, which are orange peppers. First, we're gonna cut the tops off, and then we're gonna remove all the veins and seeds. You take the spoon, you come right up the vein, boom. Shakalaka. When you're shopping for those peppers, make sure they got a flat bottom so they don't topple over. We gotta make a face. The paring knife is the correct tool for this job. We're gonna create eyes in the form of triangles, nose in the form of a triangle, and then just cut out a little slit for the mouth. Don't make any of the holes too big or your filling's gonna ooze out. Beautiful. That was easy. Now we gotta make the rest of them. These look really great. They're so cute. We've got a whole family of jack-o'-lanterns. Now let's stuff them with some delicious filling. We're gonna start by dicing up an onion. I'm gonna fire up a pan. We got our pan on heat. We're gonna come in with some oil and we're gonna go in with our onions. We're gonna give this a little salt and pepper. So once the onions start softening, I'm gonna come in with my sausage. The beautiful thing about this dish is it's highly customizable. I'm gonna use sausage. You could use beef or ground chicken. I mean, you can really customize it as you see fit. So I'll take my wooden spoon and I'll just start breaking this up. If you get it into smaller pieces, it's gonna brown up a lot faster. It's gonna cook through a lot faster. So I'd say the sausage is about 80% cooked through. Now's a great time for us to add some spices. Garlic powder, cumin, and chili. I do think that your spices could benefit from a little bit of time in the cooking oil. Mix this in. Oh yeah. It looks fantastic, it smells great. I don't see any more pink in the sausage. Let's add some other ingredients in here to bulk it up. I'm using leftover rice here, but any kind of cooked rice will work. Got corn, and I've got drained beans. This is smelling really great. I can hear the sizzle. Things are getting crispy and fantastic. It's time to make it saucy. I got some fire roasted tomatoes. If you're gonna buy a can of tomatoes, getting the fire roasted kind just means that you're adding more flavor. Why don't we hit up the package drawer for some extra spice? Hot sauce, and we'll throw that in. Look at these colors, black and yellow. Very Halloween-y. All right, I think we're like pretty good here. So let's kill the heat and let's add some cheese to this. I grated this cheese myself earlier. So I'm gonna top all of our jack-o'-lanterns with the other half of this cheese. That's why I saved it. Let's assemble. I'm just gonna start spooning it in. Oh, this smells really good. Not only are they fun to look at, but this is a nourishing meal. And I feel like it's a really great way to like trick your kids into eating something really good before they go trick-or-treating. All of our jack-o'-lanterns are filled. We're gonna give each a little more cheese. This will help glue the top on, but it'll also be really fun and bubbly when you take the top off. All right, kids, time to put the hats on and go to school. Our jack-o'-lanterns are all filled. They look fantastic. I know the filling is delicious. Into the oven. Woo! These are gonna be spooky and delicious. And these look so cute. I know it's gonna taste great. Let's dig in. I like this guy right here. Oh, these look amazing. They're only $2.62 a serving. I'm having so much fun just looking at it. I mean, look at how the filling is coming out of the mouth. It's so spooky. I'm ready to eat you. Give me your brains. Mmm. Mmm. You know, these might look spooky, but they are delicious. It's a cheesy, meaty, salty, slightly spicy filling inside of a pepper. The kids are gonna love it. You'll be set for a night of Halloween shenanigans, whether they're tricks or treats. Hey, don't you dare go anywhere, because I got Halloween treats coming up next. It's time for a struggle challenge. Let's see what you got for me today. Help! I just bought a jumbo bag of Halloween candy, but I didn't get that many trick-or-treaters this year. Plus, my kids brought home their own buckets full of candy. What can we make with all this candy? We better see what you've got in your fridge. Wow! That's a lot of candy! Your kids did well. This is a lot of candy. I'm no confection expert, and I don't even know how to begin to melt all these down to their sugary essence and then create something different. So I'm thinking rather than transform the candy into something different, why don't we keep the candies the way they are and mash them all together somehow? Perhaps I could create a spooky scene, or no, even easier, a multi-layered candy casserole. That's what we're gonna do. Let's head over to the pantry and see what else we've got. We got some peanuts, something salty to go with all the sweet. We got some peanut butter. I mean, maybe that goes with the peanuts. Maybe I could do a peanut butter layer. Got some pudding filling. I see pretzels and chips. I see graham crackers. I think this is great. The pudding's not gonna become pudding on its own, so we gotta head back to the fridge. Milk, cream, and ketchup. It's a joke. I think we've got everything that we need here. We've got some crunchy layers, we've got some creamy layers, we've definitely got sweet layers, and then we've got some salt to cut through all the sugar. That's everything we need for a use up your candy casserole, which is what I'm calling this. Let's get started. Let's start by making our pudding so it can set up. Milk! Add the mix. I'm just following the directions. I don't know much about pudding, but I do know it needs to chill. All right. Beautiful. All right, I'm gonna throw this in the fridge so that it sets up and gets even firmer. Now I need to make some whipped cream. Here's cream. I don't have an electric hand mixer, but I do have the Electro Mixer 4300 Human Edition. With variable speed. I think we're good. That is a stiff peak. Let's make this thing. I've got a glass dish. First thing we need is a base layer. I think the graham crackers are the way to go. All right, we're just gonna crush these by hand. Here we go. We've got our base layer of graham crackers. Let's get some pudding to put on top. Nice. Pudding, here we go. That really set up quickly. We got our graham crackers. We got our pudding on top. The pudding is gonna be absorbed into the graham crackers. It's time for a layer of candy. Let's do a multi-chocolate layer. So we'll get the Kit Kats. Boom, boom, boom. I got chocolate peanut butter cups now. I'm getting some serious nostalgia swimming through all of the candy right now. Nice. That's a good layer. Why don't we hit this with some whipped cream? All right, I've got unsweetened whipped cream here because there's a lot of sweet, let's be honest. Perfect. Let's do a layer of M&Ms. Ooh. Peanuts and M&Ms are similarly sized. So this way we got some salty, we got some sweet. Let's get a little more whipped cream on here. So now I feel like we should do some chocolate candy bars, an assortment. and sort of like lay them as if we were laying bricks. I would definitely recommend having your kids help unwrap the candies. I just lost a Tetris, didn't I? I'm gonna do one more layer of whipped cream, and then I'm gonna create the most amazing, visually appealing top coat. So I'm gonna put Sour Patch Kids all over the top of this because I'm thinking Sour Patch Kids are acidic, sort of like vinegar, and that's gonna balance out the flavors. Plus, they're colorful, which will look nice. Oh my God. There's Swedish fish in here. I feel like we need a flagpole or something. How about a pop? I don't know if we made that big of a dent in the candy, but this is quite the masterpiece. Let's have a look at it. We used a clear dish so that we could see some of the layers. However, it seems like the application of my ingredients was a little bit sloppy, so I don't really see that delineation that I was hoping for. It's a 3rd grade level, but I'm an optimistic one. I like the colors, and it looks pretty good, so I'm gonna give it a 7 on looks. Now let's see how it tastes. Yum. It's really weird. System error. Too many candies, too much sugar, too much flavor, too much to process. Honestly, doesn't taste so great. That's all good. And so I give it a 3 on flavor. 7 and 3 is 10. That's a 50% out of 20. F for Frankie. I do think you can have success with multi-layered candy casserole. You've got to choose a path and keep the flavors simple. Like, don't combine more than 3. I did not pass the challenge today, but I did have a lot of fun. We're gonna make chocolate cupcakes with peanut butter frosting. This is a classic combination of flavors. And we're gonna decorate them with a chocolate web so that it's extra spooky. Let me show you how to make these. They're really easy. We don't need any special equipment. We're gonna start with flour. I've got unsweetened cocoa powder here. This is what's gonna make the base of the cupcake chocolate throughout. We got sugar, and I got some brown sugar. Mix this together. All right, we're gonna come in with baking soda and baking powder and salt. We're gonna mix that together so that all our dry ingredients are nice and even. Here comes the wet ingredients. Let's start with the eggs. Put some vanilla extract in there. Here we go, we've got oil and we've got buttermilk. Let's crack these yolks. No fancy stand mixer required. You're welcome. I think we're good. Got a muffin tin here with some liners. I'm gonna take a 1/2 cup measure. I'm gonna fill each one of these up. These are gonna rise, so you do wanna leave a little distance at the top. These are ready to go into the oven. I'm gonna bake them until a toothpick goes in and comes out nice and clean. While my cupcakes are in the oven, I'm gonna work on my frosting. So room temp butter is going in. You can see how soft that is. We're gonna put in peanut butter now. We're gonna come in with a little bit of vanilla and a whole bunch of powdered sugar. If you have an electric mixer, use it. But in lieu of a mixer, I'm mashing everything up with a spatula and then I'm gonna hit it with a whisk. Starting to happen. Let's see what we can do here with the whisk. The Human Stand Mixer 8500 Gold Edition. It should be super smooth and light and fluffy. That is super smooth. So the frosting's ready, but we're not gonna stop there. We're gonna make some festive chocolate spider webs. Well, we just need some water on a stove. The steam will evenly heat the bottom of this heat-proof bowl, very important, and that'll melt the chocolate in a beautiful way. Got some bubbles breaking on our water here. Bowl goes on top, and now we wait. Knock, knock. Who's there? Frank. Frank who? Frankenstein. The chocolate has melted. Let's make some chocolate spider webs. To do that, we're gonna need a piping bag. All you need is a scissor and a zippy bag. We'll stand it up, something like that right there. Okay, I'm gonna pour the chocolate right in. We're gonna cut off just the tip. All right, I'm gonna try to make some spider webs. Let's see how artistic I is. 1, 2. They don't have to be perfect. They're all gonna be different. Every spider web is unique. I'm getting better. I am an artist. Bada boom. So I'm gonna stick these in the fridge, let them harden up a little bit, and then we'll top our cupcakes with them. Cupcakes have cooled, our icing is ready to top, and our spider webs have solidified. Let's put them together. We'll grab some of our peanut butter icing and I will place it on top. And then I will just try to work it around like that. And I don't want to go too far to the edges because I do want to see that chocolate ring there. I think it's visually appealing. So now we'll just work swiftly and deliberately through all of them. Very nice. These are looking great. Let's put these webs on. I'm trying to work really quickly so the warmth of my finger does not melt these webs. This is a great little touch to make these feel festive for Halloween. These are looking really great. I'm liking the color scheme. I'm liking the way they look. And I love this chocolate web thing happening on top. Very cool. These are 86 cents a serving. Let's take a bite. It wasn't until I was 7 years old that I found out that this is actually not edible. Mmm. It tastes creamy and peanut buttery, and then that warmth fades away, and you're hit with the perfectly sweet and bitter chocolate flavor right after. It's a 1-2 punch. These little webs are sure to catch some hungry goblins at your party, and it'll keep them coming back for more. Man, talk about another successful Halloween year. Today we proved that Halloween is about more than just the candy with our festive, delicious, and simple dishes. This year's spooky season is gonna be frightfully delicious. Welcome to Frankie's Corner, where I answer your questions. What can I do with leftover pumpkin puree? It seems like every recipe only uses part of the can. If you want to use the full can and the recipe calls for half, double all the other ingredients, now you've used up the full can. But you could always take that excess and use it in pancake batter for tomorrow, or add it to a soup, or make a nice curry with it. Those all would be great.